tell me about your character. But I mean that in a specific way. The
Okay.
BRP character sheet, uh, in a way, paints a real picture of a character that actually matters. You know, the way it informs derived characteristic roles and your education and so on and so forth. So let's let's talk about Alex Thornton.
Okay. Well, I mean, looking at stats in general, just kind of looking at it from that perspective first, I mean, he's not overall physically imposing. I mean, he's a decently sized guy. Definitely not a very strong or extreme, muscular physique. Uh, Maybe on average, he's known to stub his toe. He's not the most dexterous. Definitely not a handsome or babe kind of guy, as you might say, for the 1920s. Uh,
Oh yeah.
he is pretty intellectually though. He's got some wits. He's fairly well educated. Knows his way around a little bit of law. Knows his way around a little bit of psychology. Graduating from uh, Harvard with a BLS. I believe it's what it's called, a Bachelor of Language or a Bachelor of Arts or something like that.
Right.
Uh, Dabbled in accounting because that's mostly, kind of looking at skills. That's dabbled with accounting because that's the family business. Being a dilettante and in a well-to-do family, this is kind of where the split between me and the family kind of happens. I was more interested in uh, how the mind works, law, rather than how numbers function. But I get how accounting figures in with the law. I mean, it's
Right.
pretty obvious, it's a business family. Uh, Even though he's not a very athletic guy, uh, he does have a penchant for boxing. And that's kind of where he gets his uh, a bit of a not ragtag demeanor, but a bit of a streets demeanor as far as the dilettante goes. It kind of puts him on the outs with the rest of his compatriots.
He's not a rower.
No, definitely not a rower. As someone kind of in a little bit of the bio who early in his years at Harvard, because this is after much later from when the Crimson Club was founded, he really saw the discipline in boxing. Uh, Given he's got a kind of a middling grip on how the world works from a rational standpoint, with a 40 sanity, he still kind of gets a little befuddled by the buffoonery that happens, the irrationality that some people will do, which kind of plays out in law, uh, especially when it comes to the violence of the time frame. He just doesn't understand how things could degrade to such a state. And
Right.
He's, as far as the law goes, in dealings with trying to become a lawyer, he's fairly persuasive. He's decently good at making a case, uh, and a fairly observant guy. Loves his car, definitely learned how to drive at an early age, uh, and managed to get himself a nice house not too far from campus where he likes to go, maybe hang out at the athletic club on campus, punch the bag for a little while, and get a chance to exercise with the up and coming boxing team. Maybe acts as and this is kind of really where he falls out with his compatriots. Act as a training guy, the opponent for the up and coming boxers.
Right. All right.
Kind of a good purview.
Yeah. So looking through myself in a less focused, more general way,
Mm-hmm.
I see above average strength,
Hmm.
below average dex,
Yeah.
significantly above average intelligence. Not the healthiest of individuals, significantly
No.
below average constitution. Definitely behind the door when they're passing out looks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his low health and low strength make him a an opponent in the ring that you could misinterpret.
Right. But he kind of has the Rocky thing, not the Rocky thing going on, is that he can't
Yeah.
just take the punches. But when he does
Yeah.
land one, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely with the dodge, he's got a good ability to get out of the way of the punches, which is he
right.
kind of learned the hard way.
I think the amount of pain and suffering that he would have endured in the rink would be a strong motivator to learn how to not be there when a punch lands. Interesting for all of this is the power, below average power. This ties into will and
Hmm.
drive, and so your description of why the sanity is low, that the cruelty of the world and the violence in the world wearing him down. I think this is interesting, and why he might go into the law to try and actually do something, right? But he may discover that what resistance he feels is overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't want to do it, but that it's you can't just leave work at the office; it's going to follow you home, kind of thing. Right? Big guy, uh, and extremely well educated,
Hmm.
which, from a BRP point of view, provides you with some interesting abilities, such as a strong ability to form an idea from what might to others be disconnected pieces of data, right? The ability to deduct or induct. Not the luckiest fellow on the block,
No.
but but again, that strong education and wealthy background provides an awful lot of background information that others might not have. So that's really important. And the other huge one is the credit rating.
Oh yeah. Well, the
Family
family's well
name,
off.
yeah,
Made sure to dump a. You don't just go to Harvard, on a nickel and a dime. So
yeah, right. So
even
that's
back
ideal.
then,
This is a very interesting character. All
I
right.
think it too. The drive. Talking about the POW and the sanity. His his resistance and misunderstanding of violence. It does pose a great juxtaposition that he's focused more on learning how to defend himself physically, and his knowledge skills are kind of really spread out. The only thing that
Right.
really kind of jumps out is the persuade and psychology. So he's kind of more or less, if he can't talk his way out of a situation, his last ditch is, well, I'll land one on your buzzer if I really have to.
Right.